The man from the background, I first saw him in a Polaroid from my 7th birthday party. He's standing in the far left of the frame, partially obscured by a balloon, wearing a charcoal grey windbreaker. He's not looking at the cake, he's looking directly at the camera. Or rather, at me. I found that photo while moving into my first apartment last month. I figured he was a distant uncle or a neighbor I'd forgotten. But then I found him again. He's in my high school graduation photo, standing near the bleachers. Charcoal grey windbreaker. Same neutral, unblinking expression. Then I found him in the background of a vacation photo from the Grand Canyon 3 years ago. Same man, he hasn't aged a day. The familiarity isn't a warm feeling. It's that sensation of a word on the tip of your tongue, or a song you can't quite name. Looking at him feels like remembering a nightmare you had as a toddler. Something deeply ingrained, but impossible to explain. 2 weeks ago, he stopped being a background character. I was at a crowded subway station when I felt a hand on my shoulder. I turned, expecting a friend. It was him. Up close, his skin looked like wax that had been kept in a cold room. Too smooth, too perfect. He didn't say anything. He just nodded, as if we were keeping an appointment, and stepped onto a train that wasn't even scheduled to arrive. Since then, he's everywhere. He's the guy sitting 3 cars behind me in traffic. He's the person standing across the street when I take out the trash. Yesterday, I went to a movie alone. Halfway through the film, I sensed someone move into the seat directly behind me. I felt their breath on the back of my neck. I didn't have to look. I knew it was the grey windbreaker. I finally snapped. I waited until I saw him standing under a streetlight outside my window last night. I ran outside, heart hammering against my ribs, ready to scream, to demand who he was. "Who are you?" I yelled, stopping 10 feet away. "Why are you following me?" He didn't flinch. He looked at me with those eyes that felt like they were looking through me into a memory I hadn't lived yet. "Following?" His voice was like dry leaves skittering on pavement. "No, David, I'm waiting." "Waiting for what?" He smiled then. It wasn't a human smile. It was too wide, showing teeth that were slightly too sharp and slightly too many. "For you to remember where we met. We're almost at the end of the roll, David. Look at the photos again. Look at the very first one." He vanished as a car drove between us. Just gone. I ran back inside and dug through my old baby album. I found it. The very first photo ever taken of me in the hospital nursery. There are 6 other plastic cribs in the shot. In the reflection of the glass window of the nursery, you can see the photographer, my dad. And standing right behind my father, with a hand resting on his shoulder, is the man in the charcoal grey windbreaker. But that's not the part that made me drop the album. In the photo, the man is pointing at the tiny, wrinkled version of me. And in the nursery, in the crib next to mine, the name card doesn't have a baby's name on it. It just says, reserved. I'm sitting in my living room now. I can hear the floorboards in the hallway creaking. I think I'm finally starting to remember the dream we shared before I was born. And I think he's tired of waiting.